Well, hello everyone. Hello to those people who are live and also to the people who are watching the recording of this information session. So we're very, very excited to be going to Egypt and to be taking a tour group of 40 people with us. It's going to be extremely magical and transformational with lots of people aligning with their higher timeline. So we're very excited that you're here sharing with us tonight, and we'll get started. First of all, for the people who don't know me, I'm a conscious channel. I channel light language healing codes. I speak everybody's individual soul language, and mostly I use the light language for healing. And activating people into their high gifts, activating their opportunity to speak light language or to activate their hands, all sorts of interesting and different things. And so it's going to be really wild being in the pyramids and at the sacred sites doing the light language activations for everybody as a group. But there will be times when a particular individual will step forward for more codes and individual attention. So I didn't know that was going to be happening. That's just come through now as I've started to introduce the program. So with me here I have Karen, and Karen's my right-hand girl in lots of things that I do. And Karen is her own amazing energy healer. She reads Akashic records, and she also communicates with animals and does Reiki for animals and energy healing for people. She, like me, is very keen and avid traveller to sacred sites and downloading our wisdom from past lives in those sites. And so Karen's been to Egypt twice, last year and the year before. And now she's been helping me coordinate the itinerary for this particular program, and we're working with a spiritual tour provider over there in Egypt, and we'll have a very fluent English speaking guide with us the entire time. He's an Egyptologist. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm going to ask Karen if she wants to share anything.
I just want to say hello and thank you for being here tonight. This has certainly been a great creation that we have made for ourselves and also for those that are joining us for this beautiful Odyssey. We are really happy to be able to facilitate this, and we have really take the time, feel into it, and we're going to ensure that everybody receives what is there for themselves and for the high purpose. So thank you very much, and I can't wait for all of us to be there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Karen. And so what I'm going to do now is take you through the information agenda for tonight, and you'll see that the next thing is that I will do some light language, and the light language that I'm going to stream through now is to connect you to your intention for Egypt, for our collective intention, but for you to really feel whether it's the right thing for you or not. And then we'll do the pure intention for the retreat and the importance of having our rest days. We'll go through the itinerary and accommodations, what's included, what's not included, and then what the offer actually is. And then we'll open it up to question and answers from all of you that are online. So and so the intention of the retreat is really one of activation, you stepping into your highest timeline, so that we as a group of starseeds, light workers and advanced spiritual practice people in our physical bodies right now, that we bring that wisdom so that we can radiate that here on planet Earth, because we all chose to be here at this extraordinary time of transformation for humanity. And so we've created this retreat and pilgrimage specifically to support everybody's awakening, and so that you can contribute at your highest level to the awakening of humanity and, you know, individual beings that you come into contact with on a day-to-day basis. And so this is going to be quite a full-on 21 days. As you can see, we have 13 individual VIP private entrances, and those entrances are from 7 p.m. through till 8 a.m. in the morning. So we're going to be getting up in the middle of the night to go and spend our time in the temples, or to go to the sacred sites before anybody else is there. So we'll see quite a few sunrises, and we'll see lots of sunsets. And there will be plenty of time, like we can come home in the morning after we've been up at night. Maybe we'll have breakfast straight away, and then it's time for you to sleep or explore and rest, whatever it is that feels right for you. But it's going to be really important that we rest and integrate, because at each of the temples, especially during the private VIP visits, we will be having, there'll be codes that are activated within you. So it's really, really important that you, you know, take that time for yourself to support yourself through this time of transformation. So we'll get on to the itinerary now, and Karen will share with you the itinerary as such. You should be able to see it on the screen. Maybe not. We'll leave it. Yeah. So
the group will meet in Cairo. So that allows for people coming from other countries to arrive. And the idea is to be arriving in Cairo before 3 p.m. because checkout is around 2 or 3 p.m. And we will all then, you know, check in, get ourselves settled, have a rest, and then we'll have a traditional welcome dinner with the whole group in Cairo. And then the second day we are taking a bus to Alexandria, and in Alexandria we're going to be visiting quite a few places, and we also staying there for the night. On day 3, after we have visited Alexandria and we have done our activations and received the information that we are to get from there, then we're going to the Siwa Oasis. In the Siwa Oasis, we are going to again visit quite a few high vibrational places that we've been guided to. And then from there, we return to Cairo via bus, and that's day 4. On that day, we're going to have some rest, integration time. And then on day 5 is full day rest and integration at Mena House with views across to the Giza Plateau. And the Mena House is a hotel that is right behind the pyramid. So the energy is there, and we'll be able to, you know, start connecting and receiving the information that is there. Mena House is a 5-star hotel, so everything is going to be provided. The next day, which is day 6, we're going to be going to Mount Sinai by bus. And then we arrive, we checked in the hotel and do all the business that we have planned there. They say that day 7, really early in the morning, we're doing the Mount Sinai climb. So that's going to be a beautiful day because we're going to be seeing the sunrise from Mount Sinai.
And Mount Sinai is where it's said that Moses received the tablets, the 10 Commandments. So we're going to be there for sunrise. So that's going to be extremely special.
Yes. And then on the way back to Cairo, we're going to be stopping on the Red Sea because we've been, called to do an initiation kind of thing, an activation on the Red Sea. So that will be really exciting. And then day 8, we are back in Cairo and we're going to start the visits to the pyramids. We're starting with Kefren and Miserino in the Giza Plateau. So on day 9 is the day when we're going to be visiting the Great Pyramid of Giza. And on that day, we have been given 4 hours to be in the pyramid. Normally it's 2 hours, but we have the privilege to be there for 4 hours. That's all secure, and it's just going to be a fantastic time. So in here, as you can see, there are 3 chambers. So we're going to be having time to do activation meditations and connect with the energy within the 3 chambers. I've been there myself, and the energy, I can't even describe it. It's just out of this world. It's a little challenging in some parts, but it's worth every single effort that we put in to go up or down the little, ways to get into the different chambers. So that's on day 9, and that happens to be the 9 of the 9 of the 9, which is a portal day. And I'll ask Helen to explain a little bit more about that portal.
Yeah, so on those very special days, the sun's in a particular spot as well. And so, it'll be shining on the pyramid in a certain way. But the energies are much more, I would say, potent. The veil is a lot thinner during these special days. And so we have more access to codes, ancient wisdom, and we'll feel very, very expanded while we're, receiving those downloads and activations within the Great Pyramid. So it's going to be extremely, 4 hours. So, we could be there at like 4 a.m. or we could be there at midnight through till 4 a.m. But whenever we're there is going to be the perfect time for our group. And some of those walkways, the passageways down to the lower chamber, it's a little bit narrow. But that, if you don't want to go down there, you can stay in one of the other chambers. You'll have a lot of time to be able to do your own thing after we do an activation in each of those chambers. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was on day 9, and also when we finish at the Great Pyramid, we're going to be visiting as a private visit as well the greatest things, and in there we're going to be there for an hour. I've been there myself as a private visit as well, and it's a really great energy that you can perceive and receive, right? And then we have day 10, which we are doing the private and public visit to Saqqara. Saqqara is what they call the step pyramid. And then we will be going back to the hotel, check out, and prepare to go to the airport for our flight from Cairo to Aswan. And then we arrive on day 11. On day 11, we are doing a bus to Abu Simbel. In Abu Simbel, we're going to stay there overnight and enjoy a nice time in a nice hotel. And then on day 12 is when we're going to be doing the private public visit to the temples. These temples are the temples of Nefertari and Akhenaton. And these are beautiful temples and just so magnificent that is breathtaking to be actually there, and having the opportunity to be there on a private visit. It is something that not a lot of people have. So It's going to be a great time. And then day 13, we are going to be already on our own private cruise. And on that private cruise is, as it says, private is only for us. So all the crew and everything is going to be there for us. And we're going to be sailing the river Nile. On that day 13, the visit will be to Philae, which is Isis temple. That's the morning visit, and in the afternoon we do the Komombo, which is Sobek and Horus temple. After that, well, we go back to the boat and continue with our resting time, which is really necessary. On day 14, we are visiting Edfu, which is Horus temple. And on day 15, we're doing the private and public visit to Karna, which is Sekhmet temple. And in the evening, we will be doing Dendera, which is Hathor's temple. And then we do an overnight stay in Abydos, because early in the morning on day 16, we'll be doing the visit to the Osirian. Osirian is the temple of Osiris and is not usually open to the public. So for us, it's going to be open and as a private visit. And I was there last year in November, and the beautiful energy and all the downloads and all the information was just remarkable, beautiful. Yeah. So then day 16, we are back in Luxor. So we have finished our cruise, and then we're back in Luxor to do some public visits to Hatshepsut temple, the Colosseum of Memnon's temples, and then we are on an evening flight back to Cairo. On day 18, we are going to the Baharaya Oasis. The Baharaya Oasis is where you can find the Black Desert, the White Desert, and the Crystal Mountain. Beautiful places, and we have beautiful surprises that are going to happen there. So yeah, only those ones that are going to be there are the ones that are going to live the beautiful experience. And then on day 19, we are returning back to Cairo, and we start some rest and integration time. Day 20 is a full day of rest and integration time, and you will have, with the guide, you will have some guidance on where to go, what to do for shopping and everything else that you want to visit within, Cairo. And then on day 21 is the last day of the retreat, and we're going to have a farewell breakfast in a beautiful place overlooking the pyramids. And then that will be the end of the retreat, and each and every one will be returning home, or you guys will be, going towards your next destination. So now we're going to go ahead and explain the accommodation.
So with the accommodation, it's 5-star where we've been able to secure 5-star accommodation. Some places, as in Abydos, there is only one hotel. So we're staying in the only hotel. We're actually not in a tent or anything like that. So yes, we've secured, 40 beds there for the night. So the list is right there. You can share along with me. The first night is in the Le Méridien Hotel, which is not too far from the airport, so that it's easy to, get our bags, and we'll have our tour team on the ground there. They will help us with our baggage. They're actually securing our visa for us, and so then they will transport us to the hotel. So that process should be very easy, checking into the hotel.
I'm just going to add something in there. So at the moment, because before we travel, we will provide them with all the flight details. They will be waiting for us at the exit kind of area with a little sign with your name and the name of the company. And then from there, they will request for your passport, and they will stick the visa. You go through the security, and then we walk to the hotel, because it's walking distance from the airport to the hotel.
Very good. And so the next morning, we catch the bus after breakfast to go to Alexandria. and then we have one night in a hotel there. Then we're actually in the desert for a night at a hotel, and then 2 beautiful nights at the Marriott Hotel overlooking the Giza Plateau.
This is the photo from the Marriott Mena House, which I stayed last year.
Yeah, and then we go to Mount Sinai and we stay at Catherine Plaza Hotel there one night. And so there's, I believe it's an old monastery or an old convent. And so that will be interesting as well. Then we're back into the Marriott at Cairo for 3 nights. And that's why we're doing the pyramids right there on the Giza Plateau. And then we fly down to Aswan. And so all the flights are taken care of as well. They're all booked by our tour company in Egypt. So the flight from Cairo to Aswan, and then we'll get the boat, and then we end up in Luxor, and then we fly back from Luxor to Cairo. And you'll see that down a little bit lower there. So Aswan, one night, and then we're at Abu Simbel for a night, then our Nile River cruise. So while we're on the cruise, we'll be getting off to go and see particular temples and pyramids along the way. But everything is taken care of. It's a 5-star cruise, and you'll have access to your bedrooms and or sitting out and doing things. And I'm hoping to take a crystal bowl with me, and we'll do, like some sound meditations and things while we're on the river as well.
Yeah, and the cruise, they have a small little swimming pool. They have a little one, and then they also offer like massages and different other things. So it's got everything.
And just like all of the hotels, because they're 5-star, 4-star, where we can get it, so they will have their own a spa area. So you can book ahead if you want to, or when we book into the hotel, you can book spa treatments as well and be as luxe as you like. They're not included in the price. They're all optional extras. So now we're getting off the river cruise and staying one night at Abydos in the only hotel that's there. Then we have a night in Luxor after we've been visiting the Luxor pyramids for the day. Then we have a night in the desert. So we're going to be under the stars. It's going to be extremely magical. And there's going to be some very, very interesting things that go on there. Yes, I'm sort of feeling that energy already, what it's going to be like. We had wanted to do that at the beginning of the trip, but the Oasis area is not open at that time because they deem it to be too hot. So that's why we've put it at the end of the tour. So we're going to be starting with the desert, finishing with the desert, but of course all of Egypt is a desert. So but they're going to be very, very special events, the nights that we're at Siwara Oasis and at the Baharia. And then the last 2 nights we are at the Marriott again, taking in a well-earned rest, doing a lot of integrating practice, and really resting before we get on those long-haul flights back home to Australia or wherever you're flying to after we've been in Egypt.
I'm just going to add something there, is because we are going to be doing and receiving and integrating a lot of information. It is key to take those times when we say resting to actually rest. Take the time to, journal, to sleep if that's what you want to do, to go for a walk if that's, because everybody's idea of rest is different. But it's really that time to go back within, feel where the information has come through and everything, because from experience, when I went there for the first time, I didn't allow any rest. Then when I came back to Australia, I was destroyed. Like my energy was really low. I spent like a week trying to recover from all of it. So on the second time, I allow extra days to stay in Cairo to integrate, to get all that information and work within myself. So it's important. And that's why we allow it within the itinerary as well. So
yeah, because I really want to be available to support you through that entire integration process. And, you know, each evening, each morning, we'll be touching base as a group, not every day, not twice a day, every day, but we're, you know, supporting you physically, emotionally, and very much spiritually, and to activate as many gifts as are available to you while we're there in Egypt. And so we'll just go to the next slide, and it talks about what is included, which we've already touched on a little bit: assistance at international airport on arrival and departure, and our domestic flights, both of those, providing the entry visa on arrival at the airport, and we'll have an English-speaking person there to receive each and every one of us, and make sure that that process goes really smoothly for all of us. Every day you will be provided with breakfast, lunch and dinner, and water with our meals. So, you know, a lot of tours, they provide breakfast and then you need to organise your own. We don't want that stress for anybody. So we're arranging 3 meals a day for everybody. And Karen says that the meals are always fantastic and plentiful. So you probably won't need snacks and things in, you know, between any of that. And then all hotel and cruise accommodation is included. Both internal flights are included. The 3-day private Nile River cruise is included. And daily transportation to the new locations and also group visits are included in the itinerary via luxury air-conditioned bus, either the private cruise or a felucca ride. Yeah. And so the entry fees for all private and public pyramids and sacred sites are included. And we've already said we have a trusted, fluent, English-speaking spiritual Egyptologist throughout the entire tour. And he is so well aware of the importance of, you know, the time we have for our activation. So he's really going to support that with the security team that are on site at the pyramids and the sacred sites, so that we can all get in and spend as much time within these locations. And so it also includes the gratuities for cruise personnel, the luggage handlers, drivers, restaurants and third-party representatives in Cairo and Luxor as well. There will be daily group sessions with me, including activations, meditations, integrating practices, and also embodiment practices. You know, during this time, while we're doing a lot of downloads, there'll be a lot of old energies leaving our bodies and our emotional systems as well. So we'll be doing practices to support the integration of all of that, so that it is an absolutely fun and exhilarating time for you, rather than being left to deal with old emotional wounds and trauma and scars of the past, whether it be from this physical life or whether it be from a past life in Egypt, because that does come up. Your life in Egypt previously may not have been a particularly joyful one, and you may have some of those rememberings, but Karen and I are there to support you through that. And, you know, we're there for you, essentially, and that's why we'll be doing a daily sessions, at least daily. Sometimes it'll be twice daily. And, you know, this is pretty exciting, the fact that we're doing 13 approved private access visits to temples and sacred sites. You know, these are the times when it's not open to the public. And, you know, we've got a list of, you know, some of them there that we're visiting privately. Karen mentioned a few others as well as we went through the itinerary. Most spiritual tours and retreats, etc., they might do 2, maybe 3 private access visits. So this is extremely special and, you know, and exclusive, because, you know, because Karen's been working with the Egyptologist and the spiritual tour team previously. They've gone all out to help us create the most expansive and exclusive experience possible. And for many people, this is going to be your once-in-a-lifetime trip to Egypt, and that's what we're here to support you with that. So we'll just move on to what's not included now.
So what's not included? International airfares. We are, advising for people to start looking, because some of you might have some miles that you have accumulated, and then you can purchase your ticket with that. But also, we are on the side trying to see we are able to do like a group booking of flights. So that's also there.
From Australia.
From Australia, yes. Yep. And then also not included are the alcohol drinks except water with meals, SIM cards, telephone or internet calls and charges, personal clothing and laundry expenses, postage for any lost items or any other reason, service of personal nature, example, shopping, messages, spa, treatments, etc. Any medical and personal travel insurance. Travel insurance is compulsory. So for those that are coming with us, they are to provide it before we travel to Egypt, because it's necessary. It's not that anything's going to happen, but it's just in case.
And so when you do book and reserve your spot, we'll give you a list of well-trusted travel insurances that we've used ourselves in the past. That'll all be provided in an information sheet once you sign up.
Yeah, and also sometimes, depending on what sort of credit card that you have, they do provide that service as well, at least with your credit card. So yeah, we could be a reference because we have a lot of experience. So we've done it in the past. We have traveled and we know a little bit more about.
Yeah. So if you are looking to come to Egypt with us, I do recommend that you start looking at your particular card that you might be using to book your flights. So it's only to book your flights. It's not paying for the tour itself. But whatever card you're looking to use to book your flights, check to see if they cover travel and the insurance associated with being overseas from a medical perspective as well.
Yeah. So personal and medical expenses and medications are not included. Emergency evacuation charges, optional excursions like hot air balloon, which we could do in Luxor, and also the Cairo Museum and camel rides and everything that we will accommodate sometimes for those people that are wanting to do those sort of activities, right? Anything else that is not listed in the itinerary or listed as an inclusion in our retreat.
And so now we're going to shift to the offer. Really, it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and extremely exclusive, having those 13 private visits over 21 amazing days, together with the light language activations and spiritual program to illuminate your experience even more. So this trip is not for tourists. It's only for star seeds, light workers and spiritual seekers who are ready to shift into your highest timeline. And so if you do feel that this is the journey of a lifetime for you and you really want to be involved, it is limited to 40 people. That's as big as the bus is. So that's where our limitation is there. Now, if you wanted to pay in Australian dollars, it's $12,985, and that's for twin share. If you wanted to have a single room to yourself, there'd be an extra 3,599 Australian dollars. And if you want to pay in US dollars, it's $8,841 twin share, and the single supplement is then $2,395. So, you know, before we arrived at those prices, we looked at, you know, other tours that would be spiritual tours that are running. And we believe that this is really, really great value, given the number of private visits that we've got, the length of time that we've got, all the integration work and the support that you're going to have, and the fact that it includes all your meals and includes your visa as well. And it includes 2 internal flights. Most of the others have 1 internal flight, may or may not have a Nile River cruise. And quite often when they have a Nile River cruise, it'll be a bigger boat and there'll be several groups all on that boat together. We have got our own private boat. So it will only be our group that are on there and be very supported by the staff and, you know, support us in our transformation, but also to keep our group connected and compact. So that's really what the offer is. And should you answer the call to return to Egypt this lifetime, it will be a 30% deposit, and that's required at the time of booking. So there is a registration form, and after you fill out the registration form, you'll get another email with the payment details, etc. And once you've done your payment, you'll get a participants form. And this is extremely important. This is where you have all of your passport information, some medical information, but we need that participation form, the participants form, in order to secure your visa in Egypt and all your accommodations in Egypt as well. So that's important that you get that back to us. The other thing, internal flight information, insurance details, we need that by the end of August. And then we're all going to be getting on a call together, everybody who's signed up to come along 3 weeks prior to leaving our country. We will all be on a group call together, do some group intention setting, answer any more questions, and really start the process of activating our intentions for our travels individually and collectively. And then final payment needs to be received by the 30th of June. And then we'll go and have a wonderful time. And then there will be a feedback form, obviously. We want to be providing a quality retreat for you. So there'll be a few questions that we would like some feedback on. And then 3 weeks after you get back, we will be doing a group call as well. So that call will be a combination. I've got August there, but it's actually October, be the 13th of October. And that will be an opportunity to connect with people again that have been on the tour with you, but more so to ensure that everybody's integrated, and it'll be an opportunity to share what's come up for you and anything that you really still need some support with. So it also includes those 2 calls. And then we're now going to open up to question and answer time.
Yeah, before we go ahead and start that, I just want to add a little bit of information and a recommendation mostly is to see if we start, taking steps ahead to be physically fit, because some of these places require a little bit of, stretching and getting in and out. And climbing the Mount Sinai will also, require a little bit of stamina and being fit. So that's my recommendation there.
Yeah, that's quite a high point to climb, and it's deemed to be moderate in some places, and otherwise it's like a reasonable journey, but it's quite long, and there's parts of it that are quite steep, and there's a footpath and steps for part of it, but there's also a section where we need to be sure-footed. So if you can get into if you're coming with us, and we hope that you are, is get into an exercise program, increase your walking, your bending, your suppleness, yes, and start drinking lots and lots of water. Because the water helps with the transformation process. So if as soon as you choose and book, you will start having maybe, I don't want to say symptoms, but, aspects that you're ready to release will start showing up for you. And the easiest way to release and get through that is to be drinking lots of water. So that's from here on in. And so if you've got any questions, if you can just type them in, and then we'll answer those for you.
You can type them in on the comment box, and then we'll be able to see them.
So obviously for people who are watching this recording, you can ask your questions, through this. But the last slide gives you all of our contact points for individual questions. And of course, anybody who's listening right now, if you think of some questions after we finish, please reach out either via text message, phone, email us. Okay, so it's all quiet. Nobody's asking any questions. I hope that's a good sign that we've answered most of your questions and not that you're shell-shocked.
I missed the first 10 minutes, but what idea of what to pack?
Oh, okay. So we haven't actually discussed anything of what to pack. However, because we're at Mena House a couple of times during the tour, what we're recommending is that we take one bigger suitcase and then a smaller one or quite a large backpack. Well, we can pack enough for 1 or 2 days, and then, we can return to Mena House and do our washing, etc. So, yeah, basically one big suitcase and then a smaller one. And when I say a big suitcase, that's not like an oversized one. It will be pack light as much as you possibly can, potentially cotton or linen clothing, something that dries really easy, that it can dry overnight. And, there are really no dress codes, except if we're in a church, a mosque, we need to have a scarf over our heads if we're female, and we need to have our shoulders covered. But when we're out and about doing pyramids or sacred sites, generally out in the open, we can wear whatever we want to wear.
What other clothes or something as it would be involved?
Yes, that would be really good to have some clothes that you want to wear in the evening as well as during the day. But you don't need something for every evening that we're away, maybe 2, 3 things at most.
And also it's going to be warm, so it's going to be the end of the summer. So it's going to be, fresh clothes that you could, feel comfortable in it. We are in the desert, so there's lots of sun. I've been there, as we mentioned before, twice, and clothes get quite dirty because we are going to, be sitting here and there and stuff. So clothes that you can either hide the dirt or wash it off pretty quickly will be my advice.
Yeah, and so shorts are fine, skirts and, free flowing dresses for women.
Comfortable shoes.
Yeah, something that's, not going to show a lot of sweat potentially or make you feel really uncomfortable when you're perspiring. So just being comfortable clothing. Thank you, Boy, for asking those questions. Thank you very much. So does everybody who's on the call on this information session, this event, is there anybody who's not met me or Karen before? Just pop a little note in whether you know us or not. And that doesn't really matter. And some people don't want to make that obvious.
What is your name? Boy Toy? What's your actual name? Because we see Giselle is here, but I'd like to know the names. Alex.
And we know you, Alex, yes? That's so funny. Yeah. All righty. Anybody else have anything that they want to ask or share? And it's on the screen there again, but I will say that for twin share, all inclusive with 13 private visits, 2 internal flights, 3-day private river cruise, $12,985. And if you would like to have the room to yourself, you add an extra $3,599. And to book your space for us to hold it for you, you need to fill out the registration form. And you can see, you can go to the website, which is helenbickle.com. And there's a little purple box there where you can register. And then you'll get an email back as to regarding payment, or I might even give you a call and have a conversation with you at that time and just welcome you aboard and check to see whether you have any questions. If you're overseas and would prefer to pay in US dollars, it's $8,841 for a twin share room and an extra $2,395 US dollars if you want the room to yourself. So I don't be concerned about people snoring and keeping you awake. You will be provided with, what do you call those things? Earbuds, so that you can, switch off, and you'll also have a iPad to help you go to sleep as well. So,
and believe me, you won't even need that because you're going to be so exhausted sometimes that you're just going to go to sleep like that. No need for anything. But just if you need it, right?
Yeah. And so, once you sign up, there's going to be a lot more information available, and we may have some other group calls, but they'll only be advertised to the people who have signed up.
Yeah, so the detailed itinerary with exactly which places and when are we going to do the different visits and things, times, durations of, transportation from one point to another will be provided to those that are, ready to join us on this beautiful and fantastic, magical trip.
Trip of a lifetime, absolutely. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who has been on the call. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to be live with us and have had the opportunity to ask questions. For everybody else, we look forward to welcoming you in the future